Hello viewers, you're welcome to Economy Today on TVRC. I am your host for today, Olaniun Kudus Oluwatobiloba is my name. And here with me on set we have Dr. Akintunde Somi Vincent. It's really good to have you on set with us today again.
Yeah, thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. So we're going to be talking about the impact of currency flotation on the Nigerian economy as well as the Nigerian people. And to kickstart this session, I'll go ahead to ask this question. First of all, sir, what exactly does currency flotation mean? For us to be able to get to understand the concept.
Well, when you talk about currency flotation, it's when the currency of a given country is determined by the foreign exchange, market of another country, on the basis of the demand and supply of that particular currency. I mean, in that foreign country. Okay. For example, good example is when you look at dollars. Okay. Oftentimes in most of the African states, their exchange, the potency, the power of their currency is always determined by that of dollars.
Okay.
So it's when a currency of a particular state is determined by the foreign currency. The foreign exchange market on the basis of their demand and supply.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. But I would like to ask before we proceed, considering all of the things that have been happening right now in Nigeria, I would like to know, are there benefits to floating the currency of a particular country?
Well, there are benefits. The benefit is you feel the benefit when you have a stable economy.
Okay.
When you have a stable, when your economy is well seated, is balanced, that's when you can float to economy. That's when you can enjoy the benefits of
currency flotation.
Currency flotation.
Okay.
But when you are struggling, when you are producing nothing, and you float your economy, you just put everybody in trouble, because it's going to affect the level of inflation. Just we are witnessing in Nigeria.
Okay.
Everything is on the high price. What you used to buy for as stipends back in time, in retrospect, is now triple or multiple the price of that particular commodities. As a result of flotation of currency, you are killing some of your currency. And I'll give you a practical example. I want to ask you a question rhetorically. That what is it you can buy with 20 naira in this country, and what can you buy with 20 naira?
Nothing.
Practically nothing. What can you? We still have 5 naira note, we have 10 naira note, but they are no longer useful in the circulation.
You can't even find chewing gum 20 naira.
So even your 15 naira is becoming so. All you can get with your 15 naira is because you can only buy a sachet water with your 15 naira. It's as a result of disinflation, when everything is on the highs. Do you know in the US, they still spend their pence, their coin. They still make do with their coin. Some of the African countries, they make do with their coin. But here, because of inflation, because everything is on the high, everything seems to be skyrocketing. So you are rendering the lower denominator, the lower currency, rendering them useless as a result of this. And everything is determined. Okay, take a look today. $1 to a naira is 1,700 or thereabout, 1,800 thereabout. And if you're going to buy, virtually everything is being imported into this country. You are importing everything importable. Your electronics, you are not producing them. The accessories, any accessories that you want to talk about, electronic accessories, you are not producing. Cars, they are even the one that are being assembled in Nigeria. It's not being prioritized. We talked recently about supporting our local production. But even our the power that we still prefer to shop abroad. Well, we have the innocent motto. We have those who are assembling cars in this country.
Locally.
Or those who are producing locally.
Locally, okay.
But yet they are not being. They still prefer to shop on Toyota, to shop on thereby making it difficult for naira to survive. We still talk about again the issue of our petroleum products being purchased in naira, but are they listening? They are not listening. Everything is still dollarized. So these are what weakens our currency and strengthen the foreign currency. And when you float your naira, if you are going to float your naira, you have to make sure you have a stable economy that everybody, we've all agreed that is going to be in Nigeria. Nigeria will hit what is produced in Nigeria. We will shop what is produced in Nigeria. We are going to make do with what we have in Nigeria.
Okay.
Then you have a stable economy. Then you can now float your currency, so that anybody who is going to shop, who is going to come to Nigeria to to either for investment or anything, then you are coming into a stable economy. Not when your economy is struggling and you are still floating the currency. It's going to be I'm not surprised why we are currently facing this kind of I know you would definitely want to ask me that how it affects how it affects our economy or thereabout. I'm not surprised, because most of our politicians, most of them have a whole lot of industry, a whole lot of businesses out there. Not within Nigeria, outside Nigeria. So they are beneficiaries of this currency flotation at the detriment of the common man.
So what you are trying to say is there's a very high chance that this currency flotation of a thing is intentional.
Yeah, or it's intentional, because I see no reason why you should float your currency when you don't have a stable economy, when the economy is still struggling.
That's interesting.
Take a look at it. If our politicians, most of them that have businesses outside the shore of Nigeria, in Malta, in the US, in the UK, you see, they prefer to make the money out there and bring it into the system, into a weakened system for dominance. So bringing in the dollar will overshadow the naira. So the naira will be subservient to the dollar just because of personal interest. But if you are thinking about the interest of the nation, you are supposed to strengthen the naira so that the naira will compete favorably. And when things are not balanced, fine, things are balanced, now that you can float the currency, then it becomes, it becomes, you cannot rationalize it becomes more sensible than when things are not balanced. Take a look at, do you think the average man can purchase ordinary home appliances? It's not possible. The washing machine that has been sold for, let's say, 50,000 2-3 years ago, when the dollar was still what's it called, at 700 naira, 600 naira. Do you think that anybody is going to purchase that washing machine today will purchase at that particular amount of money?
The prices are on the sky high.
On the high side. We are not the one producing it here. It has been imported into the country. So the foreign currency will be the one to determine how much it has been sold.
Sold in Nigeria.
So, like I said, it's highly, I wouldn't call it disgusting that we still have our leaders who would not even think outside the box, who will always look at their because I don't see why it's one that affected. It's one that is a sole responsibility on what's it called, on our PMS.
Before you proceed further,
because let me quickly say this: our PMS. Don't forget that we are not refining our crude.
Okay.
Our crude is taken abroad. It's taken abroad. It's refined abroad. Then we make do with our. Here we are we have the crude oil in this. We have the crude oil in Nigeria. Our crude oil is taken up. We export out. Yes, and it's very refined. Then we import back a refined product. Then they will not charge us on the basis of on their own on the potency of their currency. Just imagine it, 1,800 multiply it by whatsoever you are going to get, maybe by $10, $15 per barrel, just to give you a kind of example. So the major crisis we are facing in this country is not even the issue of PMS alone. is the issue of the FX. Today, if our currency return back to status, not just status, return back to let's say 500 naira or 7 or 5, we see the price of PMS drop drastically.
Okay.
You see you said buying, maybe we'll be buying this PMS at 500 naira per liter. But because the FX, I mean, a naira to a dollar is 1,800, so it is being calculated on the basis of that 1,800 to a dollar. So if it is $15, multiply it. Then what if it's 500 or 300 naira? It's going to come down drastically.
Wow, that's a lot. I was actually going to ask you about the varying impacts of this currency flotation on the Nigerian economy, but you've begun to address some of those issues as well. But I would still like to ask for the purpose of this session, that what are some other impacts of this currency flotation on Nigerian economy? We'll also delve into the Nigerian people as well. Okay, so but I would like just very short, some of this impact on Nigerian economy.
Well, the negativity seems to be very much cumbersome. I mean, is compared to the positive side of the whole. Like I said, if you are going to float your currency, you have to have a stable economy. I mean, you have to have a stable economy. But when in most cases, when the economy is still struggling and you are still a floating currency, to me, I don't think it is. I mean, it is inconsequential to talk about that effect. Of course, ordinarily it should open the system for foreign investment.
For foreign investment, yeah.
Ordinarily, should open it for foreign investment, but they will definitely eventually be the one that will be the gross beneficiary. But even when they think they are going to benefit, when they come into the country, they see that it is another bogey entirely. Even your electricity bill, the affordability and the accessibility, because it has inflation. When a gross inflated economy, and you think because of your dollar, you had better make the dollar in your country and send it to that country that has floated its currency, for most likely for just an exchange, and you put it there. But if you think you are going to come into the system to come and be a beneficiary, some things are waiting for you here. And what exactly is waiting for you? That's inflation.
Okay.
Inflation. Just take for example, if you are going to, because you think you are going to convert your dollar into a substantial amount of naira. Just imagine you have $10,000. You want to change $10,000 to to naira. Just talking about millions here, millions of naira here. Then bring the million into the country. Put the million into a particular business and see what will amount to the million. Because even if you want to bring your goods, let's say you put your investment into agriculture, and you want to bring in your goods from the farm to the market, and you are being charged for transportation. Ordinarily, what you should pay for 100,000 for transportation or 50,000 for transportation, you are paying for 500,000, and you are not making the requisite market. You are not making, when you not bring it to the market. You want to make profit, and people are not even buying because they don't have the capacity. Then that amounts to a waste. Then of what benefit is the investment? It amounts to nothing. So, like I said, even if you think it is only when you have a stable economy, when you have a stable competition, everybody is working, production is very high. You have the market already. The market is fixed. Then you can talk about floating of economy to woo investors into the system. But not when inflation is very high. The FX is not,
it's not stable.
It's not making any sense. Today, it's not even stable. There's always a kind of variation here and there. If not 1,007 today, before you know it tomorrow, even you think your stock market becomes, it's so terrible.
Okay.
But you need to have a stable economy if you are going to float your currency. And those who tried it recently, it hasn't been working from our observation. I made good example of Ethiopia. Ethiopia tried it recently. In short, the country, they are crying big time now. So some other countries tried it, But look at those who have been able to look at, for example, look at Singapore. I love making reference to the Asian tigers, the Malaysia, the Indonesia, the Singapore, even India. These are economic giants. People over time has managed their economy to a very reasonable level, and they are doing well for themselves. They are doing wonderfully well.
Okay.
Was it not recently we talked about, just to digress a little bit, that we talked about the private jet? And I told somebody recently that look at Singaporean president. That man fly economy. Singaporean, the Prime Minister of Singapore, flies economy. But money we are supposed to pump into production. We are using it for, we are buying private, the president is buying private jets. We are buying yachts. What's it called? The vice president lodge. The president's wife is it's always in one project or the other. We don't even know what's it called. The ministers, the senators, they are gulping a whole lot of money. The House of Reps whooping amount of money here and there. The money we are supposed to put together, pump into production. And what are we even doing? Our consumption rate? Do you know that we are still importing chicken into this country?
I'm not surprised.
Chicken, even to pencils, are being imported into this. Rice, even majority of Nigerians prefer to eat the foreign rice to the local rice. So what are we saying? So the point is, you cannot have this kind of economy and you still want to float your currency. So the benefit to me, it has the negativity seems to be much more. The positive.
So I can conclude from what you just said now that a resultant impact of this currency flotation is high inflation, and it basically just makes condition in the country worse, especially if the country's economy is not yet stable.
Yes, it worsens the economy. Okay,
so I would like to know.
Let me ask. Look at our current situation, Nigeria, for example. What can you look at the economy of Nigeria? What can you substantially buy with? Go to a shopping mall with 200,000 naira. You only come out with just a bag of a sack bag. Is that a good economy? And now look at our currency over time. If we continue like this, in a very short while, 15 naira will become obsolete. We continue again, 100 naira becomes useless. We continue like that again. I remember back in time in retrospect where we used to buy kuli 1 naira kuli. We used to buy granite for kobo. We used to have kobo, you buy for kobos. But now look at that granite, just a sachet, like a wrapped, there's what called nylon granite. Inside a nylon. That usually they used to sell it for 20 naira before. It's sold for 100 naira now. Pure water at the point in time we used to buy for 15 naira, 5 naira pure, a sachet of water, 5 naira. That same water now you can only, even one is good, 15 naira. A bottle water of 15 naira before is sold for 300, 250. So just imagine we continue like this. What becomes of our currency? So like I just want to reiterate for you to have a better understanding of what's actually happening to our economy. So this currency flotation, it has rendered the economy, not even the currency flotation alone. The way we are handling this currency flotation. If we are not careful, if the leaders are not in their wisdom, do something on time, they will eventually turn because it just take a look at the successive government from 1999 to date, from President Obasanjo to President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Thank God for that. That Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, blessed memory, did a whole lot of changes in that particular sector, but it was short. His tenure was short-lived. Then President Jonathan Goodluck. Then the one that really draws us back to is that of President Muhammadu Buhari. He did mess up the system. Now President Tinubu.
I know it has even become
the same party, or Progressive Congress. So the point is, over time, they've plunged this nation into successive government. Why am I saying this? Is take a look at the number, the dollar to a naira under Obasanjo. Very minute. Then Moro Musa Yar'Adua, then Jonathan. If you are going to draw the line up the charts, see they all keep moving upward, to maybe 300, 700, like that, like till date is 1,700. It's always upward. So we need a leader who, in his wisdom, would do something.
Before we go into the measures, before we go into the different measures that we can employ to be able to address this issue, I would like to understand some of the effects this currency flotation has on the Nigerian people for this particular session, so we can understand how we can properly address, not just for the economy but also for its citizens as well. So what are some of the effects on the Nigerian people?
Number, joblessness. I mean, it's going to render so many, when the inflation is very high, when most of the industry can no longer cope, what happens? They lay off workers. The survival rate becomes very slim. The survival rate becomes very, because you are going to, when you cannot even afford what is in the market, what are you going to resort to? So it has a whole lot of ripple effects on the people. And again, the SMSC is always the strength of any economy. When your SMSC can no longer, when they are not functioning to a potential, they are not functioning very well, then what happens to the economy? Just small production, those who are producing little, that are doing little things for the growth of, for the betterment of the nation, they are not doing it anymore. Most shops are closed, roads are deserted, industries are folding up because they cannot cope. Oil marketers are begging for money that they check it out. Even hospitals till date, some of hospitals they are no longer functioning because nobody. If you are sick, in short, you cannot afford to allow yourself to just fall sick in this economy. Yes. There was a meeting, was it yesterday, that even doctors, they were saying that, see, they mentioned a substantial amount of, in their hundreds of thousands, they will no longer be functioning because they cannot even run the hospital. Just imagine, doctors are not working, nurses are not working, hospitals are falling up. Maybe they will turn this thing to church because maybe everybody will resort to because that's one of the so-called of most Nigeria. We have to resort. Most Nigerians are resorting to faith.
Yes.
Because if you think you want to depend on this kind of government, when you are in short, you are long for it. I mean, you are on the very high way that So what am I saying in essence is it has a whole lot of ripple effects. It's going to lead to laying off of, when inflation is very high, even consumption rate is very. Nigerians are feeding very well. Most Nigerians are even packing up they are packing their cars. Most of them cannot even afford to put fuel
in their cars. Yes.
I was not here. A university lecturer, university professor, is not hopping on Okada.
Okada now.
Okada
from his house to his.
What is he going to teach after the man that ordinarily would just be inside his car, take his air conditioner and everything, and attend his classes, now on Okada, he will have to spend maybe 45 minutes. Elderly professor, to relax first, then before stepping into the classroom, he's even tired already. Tired. Take a look at the express. Let's say the man is 45 kilometers or 10 kilometers to his campus. So what are we saying? It has a whole gross effect. So floating your currency, like I said, is good, but when you don't have a stable economy, it's going to do more. The damage is going to be more magnanimous than.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Finally, to round up this session, I would like to ask, what are some remedies, some measures that can be put in place to at least to address this issue? The
remedies we can put in place is for a leader that understands them. If you are going to have a leader, we have to test. We have to look at his antecedent. We have to look at his intellectual prowess. We have to look at his, how creative. You know, when you don't have a president who is creative, it will put the country in a mess. Okay, when you don't know, a president who does not know what we call economic terms. You know, because every country, if you are going to measure the strength of a developed, any country that's willing to be developed, you have to look at what they are doing economically.
Yes, through their economy.
Intellectually, you have to measure them intellectually. You have to measure their level of creativity. So that's number one. You have to. That's on the side of the. And number two is for us to get our act correctly. We have to encourage production. We are just borrowing for consumption. Do you know how much? Even the current spokesman of the president said something. Was it yesterday that the presidential jet was refurbished? I was asking myself question: to whose detriment if it is republished? It's not. Is it going to be? Is it for? Were they given to Nigeria at a peanut? Look at the millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Why not pump that money into production? We have so many unused land mass from Ibadan to Lagos, from Abuja to Kaduna, from Kaduna to Sokoto. Unused land mass. In short, let's start from each geopolitical zones. We have 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Let's have a stable factory. They used to say that government has no business in business. That's not true. I don't want to believe that. That a government can always create an enabling environment. Just take a look at in Southwest alone, we have like 2 or 3 major factories that can employ 50,000 at a go. Just imagine you are taking 50,000 from the market, from the labor market into that factory, and it's not just there for decoration. They are going to produce something that they can export or that they can sell to the general populace and make money into the system. So we have so many factories that are full. Look at Ajaokuta, look at Odwa Glass. They are no longer functioning. So what are we saying is, what am I saying is, what I'm saying is that if you are going to, create a balanced economy, we must encourage production. Imagine, your people, our production is very low, and you are still taxing your people. You are taxing the citizens. You see, it's more or less like you putting something, like you are holding their neck. You want to just take the life out of them, and they ask you that, what are you taxing them for?
Wow.
So, floating the economy, inflation is very high. People are barely living, crabbing for survival. Nigerians are moving towards the desert. They are moving towards the Agadez, down to Libya. Most are passing through. Check the semi-border here. Check some of the borders. Nigerians are moving out, looking at possible destination for themselves. Our immigration centers are becoming filled up because everybody wants to get the traveling document to just check out of the country. Must we continue like this? Like I said, we need a sane somebody who will come into the system, sanitize the system, create a stable country. It's as if I wouldn't want to believe that this country is cursed. But I believe that over time we've been so unlucky with poor leaders. And I hope that in a very short while we put all these things into we have a stable country.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you very much, Dr. Akintunde. You've heard it all, viewers. Yes, right from the benefits of currency flotation, as well as the adverse effect and the impact it has on the economy. We've been able to address a whole lot of issues, as well as some of the remedies and measures that can be put in place. Good leaders, intellectual leaders, as well as diving into diversification and production, which can help to boost the economy as well. So there you have it, viewers. Thank you very much for tuning into Economy Today on TVRC. Thank you, Dr. Akintunde, for honoring our invitation today once again. It's really good to have you with us once again. Till next time, I remain your humble host, Solani Okudu Soluwatobiloba. Bye for now.